3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hi, we're here with Sergeant Wayne Delk with the Cobb County Police Department to talk about a big job fair that is coming up. And Sergeant, tell us about it.
Well, Cobb County Police Department is hosting a job fair on June 10th and 11th. It's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. It's to kind of expedite the process for an upcoming academy class in October. So what we're hoping people will do is go to joincobbpolice.com and actually fill out the application and get that portion out of the way first. And then show up for the job fair where they'll be able to do the physical agility test. They'll actually be able to meet with a background investigator and start that background investigation process. Also do a psychological evaluation and get those things all taken care of and knocked out in one day. It's a good chance for folks to come out, and if they're actually interested in a career in law enforcement, Cobb County Police is hiring.
Who are you looking for? What kind of people are you looking for?
That's the interesting thing. A lot of people think that in order to be a police officer, you have to have a spotless, clean background, not have made any mistakes. People from all different walks of life actually make great police officers, and if just because you've made a couple of mistakes in your life, that doesn't really mean that you can't be a police officer. People are allowed to make certain mistakes. On the website, if you go to joincobbpolice.com, there are a few items that are listed, and if you have committed certain crimes, then that might exclude you from becoming a police officer. But even then, there are certain things that are listed that if they haven't been within the past 5 years, you still can qualify.
In having watched the Board of Commissioners take certain action in your department, I know that certain incentives and bonuses have been put in place to help encourage people to join up.
Yeah, we're actually not only just hiring for brand new recruits, we actually do have a lateral program as well. So we do have incentives for laterals to come in. I think there's a $5,000 bonus for laterals to come in from other agencies who may already be mandate certified in the state of Georgia. Also, we have a really good competitive starting pay for our recruits. We have a take-home car program. We do have, Cobb County actually has reimbursement for college tuition. There's several different things that we actually offer. Our department, the size of our department, we actually have more than 25 specialty units. I believe the number's at 27 now. So there's so many different things you can do as far as your law enforcement career if you choose to come and work for Cobb County Police Department.
And along those lines, you can be on different tracks. You can do different things. You can have different goals. And when it comes to incentives, there's things like the take-home car program as well that is something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, when I started way back in the day when we rode on horses, we didn't have take-home cars. We kind of just did a hot seat. You just swapped the car out and it was running 24 hours a day. Now, what we're seeing is officers are taking better care of vehicles. They have a vehicle assigned to them, and we actually do have a take-home car program. The cars are actually lasting longer, and it's a benefit to officers to be able to drive to and from work in their assigned patrol vehicle.
You mentioned the academy in October. So if I go to the job fair, June 10th and 11th, get selected, what happens after that?
Well, after that, if you actually make it through that process, we actually, once your packet is completed, once Internal Affairs actually finishes that background investigation, you get a conditional job offer, you take the job offer, you actually will be hired once you receive that offer. So you will actually start working at the department prior to the academy starting. So you don't have to wait, you won't be waiting until October 3rd. You may actually be starting in an earlier, what we call a RIP status, where you're a pre-recruit, so to speak. You haven't started the academy, but that'll give you a chance to actually start learning some different things about the department.
What's the academy like? How long does it take to get through the academy, and when do I hit the streets as a police officer?
Our academy right now is right at about 27 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. It may be more or less, but right around 27 weeks. So we are far beyond the state mandated minimum for a police academy. We cover so many different things in that, and you can go to joincobbpolice.com and see there's some really cool videos. You actually see recruits who are actually going through training. So there's the whole academic aspect, and then there's the physical aspect. You're learning about driving emergency vehicles. We actually, obviously, we do firearms training, but a lot of the training that we do is very, 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 very specific, and we receive a lot of hours in so many different specific areas that a lot of other agencies might not actually get.
We are living in, I'll just say, interesting times now, and especially when it comes to being in law enforcement. If somebody's out there watching this, they may be on the fence, they may be thinking, this is a risky occupation. What would you tell them that would maybe help them make a decision or bring them to the job fair on June 10th?
If you are conscientious, if you want to be a person who actually is contributing and helping to make a change in a positive way, this is one way to do that. I left a position as an elementary school teacher to become a police officer way back when in the 90s, and I have loved the impact that I've had. Every interaction you have as a police officer is a chance to make someone's life better. And even if you are taking them to jail or writing them a citation, you actually can impact someone in a positive way. So for me personally, and for most of the people that I know who do this job, it is a calling. So if you feel that, if there's a desire to make a change, and you have to start small, if there's a desire to make a change in your community, this is one way to do that.
And you mentioned you started in the 90s, which doesn't sound that long ago to me, but a lot has changed since then. Yes,
a lot has changed. We as a police agency, we have had to evolve, as well as every other police agency out there. We're learning more and more about how to do this job in today's times versus doing it even back in the 90s. So things have changed. We're a lot more, as an agency, we're a lot more conscientious of our interactions with the public, and we're not as heavy-handed as people may think we are. We have a community affairs unit that goes out and is actually actively engaged with the community and will respond if there's a call for police to come, and not to police an area, but just to speak, to be visible, to be seen, and for the residents to be heard. Our command staff is very, very, very responsive to those calls, and will show up and will come to community meetings. We are a lot more involved within the community than people believe we are, and we're looking for people who are wanting to be more involved in their community.
All right, so again, the job fair is taking place June 10th and 11th. When and where?
June 10th and 11th, that's Friday and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Cobb County Police Headquarters, which is 545 South Fairground Street in Marietta.
No invitation required?
No invitation required. We do ask that if you can, go online, fill out the application, joincobbpolice.com, get that taken care of first, because that's a huge chunk of time that, you can do it at the job fair, but that will take a lot of time away from you being able to get through a lot quicker.
All right. Look forward to seeing you then, and hope if you have an interest in law enforcement, you come out to the big job fair on June 10th and 11th.